Hello everyone! So, you guys requested a Seth video and here it is. The first one ever. I've never reacted to any of them before, so let's get cracking. This was the one most suggested, by the way, but if you want me to react to other ones, just put them down in the comments. And for those wondering why we have a timer up in the corner, that's because I've been celebrating my birthday and 1 year of being a VTuber for the past 2 months. We're on day 60 right now. So every day that timer is running, I am streaming. Yeah, so if you want to come check out Twitch, you know where to find me. Enjoy the video and thank you again for all the support and love.
What is the worth of a human life? I can't give you that answer, but I can tell you the worth of an elvish life.
I can't give you that, but the life of an elf. Oh man, that video started off very seriously and then devolved. I see.
62 meat and 17 leather once you really peel them down. Hey people, Seth here. Despite doing this for several years, I have never figured out how to use a microphone, and for this, I sincerely apologize. Songs of Six is an ambitiously made, self-styled city-state simulator developed for the better part of 7 years. Now, imagine you start playing the game, and naturally, you play the tutorial. I imagine most people do. The difference, however, is that over 100 hours later, I am still on the tutorial.
What? 100, bruh. I don't think I have 100 hours in the tutorial for cultivation, for Amazing Cultivation Simulator. Like, I probably should, but I don't. Damn. Okay, I'm intrigued.
This is the story of Jackaton, the default starting location for the tutorial, which is named after the developer.
You know, my mind when it said Jackaton did not go to the developer. No, it just went to jacking a ton. I'm sorry.
We have no mountains, no natural resources, a sprinkle of trees, a small lake, and generally nothing. We're sandwiched between 4 neighbors, the city-states of Taganval and Sluva, and the empires of Starless and Ulisu. In a word, it's not looking very good for us.
I was gonna say that looks bleak.
You start with a couple dozen citizens and a dream of some.
Okay, I looked at a tiny bit of this game because people were like telling me about it, and every time I looked at it, it looked ugly, but for some reason it actually looks kind of cute over here. Oh no, I'm not gonna pick it up. Oh, I must stay strong.
Something greater. Unfortunately, we are Crotonians. These are peaceful vegetarian pigmen with no aspirations beyond.
Pigmen! We're playing pigmen! And peaceful! And vegetarian! Wait, why do you know about the life of an elf then? That it's worth meat? Are you trading with them? Are you trading the meat of the elves? Not even eating it?
Beyond slumming in the dirt and farming crops. But for all
that sounds like a peaceful life though.
And I quickly started an agricultural operation. It's not much, but at least we're not starving.
It's
Grain
not much.
is to be processed by a bakery, while fruit and vegetables
but
can
it's
be
honest
eaten
living.
directly. Regrettably, instead of a fruit farm, I started an orchard. I did this on the promise that it's a slow operation with twice the potential yield. To this day, it has produced no fruit, because by the time the fruit trees mature, I get a worm infestation and have to chop them all down. So
oh no! I was gonna say, wait, what do you mean a fruit farm? Aren't orchards that? Oh, that's so horrible. I feel that.
Citizens typically prefer locals over immigrants, and the only way to increase the local population is by having children at the local nursery. In this game, a year is 16 days, and each 4 days is a season. A baby becomes a child, and a child becomes eligible for labor at 4 years of age. Songs of Six encourages the miracle of childbirth with the economic miracle of child labor. Also,
this went to the Frostpunk route really quick, but without the option. Oh, Crotonian child starving to death.
So, after my pigmen accidentally snacked on all the vegetables in the nursery crib, I can confidently tell you infant mortality has no effect on the happiness of your population. But you know what has an effect on my happiness? Getting paid to plaster my walls with illustrations of naked women. Hang on, guys. This wall
excuse me?
Barren, so dull, so lifeless. Luckily, today's sponsor is Displate. Displate is a unique metal poster designed to capture all your passions, whether they be Elden Ring, Star Wars, Warhammer, or Call
Naked
of Duty.
ladies,
Displate
apparently.
has over 2 million artworks across hundreds of brands.
Does it have
If you
the
know me,
anime?
you'll know I love my Displates more than any lame paper poster. But What if they could be even better? You see, I can only look at my normal posters. That's a problem. And the solution is Textra, Display's brand new tactile poster collection. Now I can run my fingers along my precious displays.
Oh
and really
my
feel
god.
those tactile textures, 3D contours, and selective matte and gloss effects. And of course,
I don't know what makes this better. The fact that the editing, well, the editing makes it better, obviously, but like the hand, the PNG, just looking at it like that, I'm just, why?
it makes them look even cooler. The new Textra finish will be available on hundreds of the best-selling displays, and Display looks forward to expanding the library of display textures in the following months. So, what are you waiting for? Go to display.com/Seth and check out the selected designs that you can now get with a new Textra finish. Transform your walls today with Textra. And thank you to Display for sponsoring this video. Your city lives and dies on happiness. If you fail to keep your citizens happy, you'll start a failure cascade that ends in ruin. The simulation
sounds about
each
right.
individual citizen and measures the average fulfillment of their needs and desires for that particular
So we just
race.
killed unhappy
Race
ones?
is an interesting topic. Some races don't get along. Some races are predisposed to crime. Some races control our educational sector, our labs, and our academia. But what else am I supposed to do when everyone else
like real life,
gets
man.
education? I'm talking, of course, about none other than humans. Humans are troublesome, criminal, and have a low sanity score of any race, which means an essential component of any healthy human population.
Human deranged and treatment.
They heckin' love science, which is important because this game handles research in a unique fashion.
Whoa, that is... I like this tech tree, man. Oh no, am I gonna be forced to play this game now? It looks up my alley. No, why am I watching this?
You don't just learn something. No, you research it, and then you have to pass on that generational knowledge across time. Remember, we don't start with paper. We get...
Oh no. Oh no. We're passing the knowledge to our generations. Oh boy. I can see where this is going.
To that point after multiple generations of oral tradition. And even then, we have to maintain and preserve our existing knowledge against entropy. Almost every other race dislikes intellectualism and prefers to be indoctrinated. This is advantageous as it fosters loyalty in the absence of happiness. An open mind is an open bussy, its gates unbarred and unguarded. Some might argue that great men are made, not born. In the case of Dondorians, that is literally true because they appear as fully formed adults at the base of a mountain. For this reason, the only way to get Dondorians is by immigration. They're good at mining, they're good at Minecraft, they're basically dwarves.
But immigration was bad for your race. Oh no. I am sensing an issue that's gonna arise real soon in this one, Jesus. Alright, dwarves, let's go.
The Talapi are forest-dwelling elves. They're good with trees and they're good with nature. What else?
And
they're also known for violating human men for
having leather.
Before.
Wait. Did I? What? The children were slain, the women put in chains. The men were defiled, slaughtered, and eaten?
They cannibalize them. Bizarrely, this makes them compatible with a cave-dwelling Garthimi who are
compatible? Okay.
Are effectively bugmen.
Cannibalism.
What they lack
Got
in
it.
skill, they make up for with raw numbers. And there's nothing
Holy
enjoy
shit.
more than plucking limbs
The
from the
Zergs.
other races. And while most cities will have a mixed population, some races don't get along with anyone. The Amevia are coastal-dwelling lizard men. They're uniquely xenophobic and incompatible with other races.
Uniquely xenophobic. Damn. I mean, can you blame them? They just want to live their best life next to water.
Which is offset by their impressive physique and high lifespan. If you want a true monocultural isolationist experience, try the lizards. Finally, there are two giant races you can't normally get. The in-lore explanation is that their populations have been decimated over the course of several great wars. If you control a region containing a haven and satisfy their high demands, they can be convinced to join your cause. While they have many differences, they do share a common trait. They're fucking gigantic and make for the best shock troops in the entire game. There's a bit of an irony in a sense that they're incredibly rare and almost extinct, and the best thing they're good at is getting even more extinct. The Argonash are spider.
That is quite the irony right now. Now the question is for science, can they breed? Just for science.
They're leviathans with a voracious appetite. They don't care for anything except food, which may sound simple until you realize the logistical nightmare
the amount of food they
4
need
meals a day to every person on the map. The Cantors may ask for more up front, but they're easier to satisfy. generally.
Okay.
Once I arrested 2 people at the same time, but
Wait. Go back. Pleads innocence, wants to try case in court. What? There's a legal system with court? The fuck is this game?
But only had 1 courtroom. One of the 2 arrested thieves had no legal representation. They considered this a complete breakdown of my legal system and left in disgust. At the time,
Left in disgust. Oh my god, this is amazing. Holy shit.
I knew none of this. I was a young blood, desperate to turn a profit and expand my settlement. YouTubers are a prime example of making the most amount of money with the least amount of skill and intellect. In a fair society, these are the people who should be toiling in the coal mines and dying of black lung. Appropriately, I simulated this by importing Garfimi slaves and renaming them to my favorite content creators. I invested so much into the
I was wondering where he's going with this. Hello, shop. I'm okay. I'm just laughing and having a good time. I'm okay. My cat came by to check on me.
This coal mining operation, only to find out I've spent several in-game years for a tar pit with 30% efficiency. It wasn't just unprofitable, but because of the size and scale, the cost of maintenance alone sent me into the red. On the other hand, I found out slavery is actually quite well received, as my citizens enjoy a slave population so long as it's not their own. My settlement grew, and unfortunately, crime had become an issue. Another day, another flashing. The people lived in fear.
Excuse me, what flashing?
Arrests had to be made, but because I spread myself so thin, I didn't have the resources or manpower to enforce it. And so, the public indecency continued until I increased my coverage. And after the prison started filling up, I am forced.
Can I just say his choice of words here are very fantastical? Spread too thin, flashing, covered. Ah, yes. I approve of this script.
To make a difficult statement. Dundorians are sex pests. Of the 5 indecent exposers, all 5 have been dwarves. I have no further comment. At this point, I was earning capital by exporting furniture. This game doesn't have a fixed economy. Trade prices fluctuate and work on the rules of supply and
The dwarves, okay, they just are used to lower temps, okay? Cloves kind of inhibit their will, and their temperature is too hot, man. That's all there is. It's not that they're indecent. Dwarfs, man.
Demand. Basically, if you can make your own, that's strongly encouraged. If you have excess to sell off, that's good too. But overtrading a commodity can apply disproportionate pressure on the value, which is minimized by the number of trade partners. So, if you want money, you better diversify. But if you don't, poverty also has its advantages. If our treasury is empty and we're dead broke, guess what? Our diplomatic gifts mean a whole lot more, which is important because if our reputation drops to 0 with any of the 4 factions bordering us, we're getting invaded. And with a current standing army of 0 men, I don't fancy my chances. So I would intentionally dip my savings into the red, plead, cry, and defecate in front of my neighbors, and a pathetic display made me an unattractive target for assault. I would reputation farm into the multiple thousands so I could reliably forget about it for the next dozen years, while enjoying the benefits of almost 0 taxation on all trade. This gave me a lot of time to...
Wow! Almost 0 taxation on trade? That is OP. What the heck?
Experiment and figure out what I'm doing. Firstly, I tried mining gemstone. Subsequently, I failed at mining gemstone. Instead, I used the natural fertility of Jacketon and turned it into an opium plantation.
How did we go from gemstones to an opium farm? Oh no, I'm okay. I'm just baffled. How?
I still had a lot of Garfimi slaves left over and put them to work in fields of poppies and cotton. However, I got overly ambitious and my bugs got a little rowdy. There is no other situation where the following words can be said. The cotton pickers are having another uprising. Subsequently, we abolished the practice. Not on
Why? Oh. Yes, that was me facepalming.
Moral grounds, but because they robbed my throne and took just about every...
The filthy slaves captured the throne through low cunning. Oh, wow. That text.
Happiness was at an all-time low among my Dundorians, so I tried producing alcohol and opened a tavern. Demand outstripped supply. Access was terrible and supplies were so low.
Oh yes, our opiate farm had issues. What do we do? Booze. Yes. I can see where this colony is going.
But it just made them angrier. So I tried satisfying food preference instead. Mushrooms, fish,
bribery with
proteins.
food.
Then I restricted everyone to just eating bread, and they were happier. Additionally,
what? I mean, I'm not gonna say that a bread-only diet is not gonna make them happy. I mean, who's not happy with bread, right? Like a lot of breading happening there, but seriously?
I tried introducing fine dining in the form of restaurants, and almost lost the game to a public riot. Not only
they rioted because they only wanted bread! Oh, this is too perfect, man.
did I fail to meet supply, but each time I did so, a citizen would starve, spiraling into a vicious loop. Their desire for the McMenu was so strong that it overrode their survival instinct to eat street food, preferring instead the embrace of death. This was not a plague of famine.
That's crazy.
It was a plague of choice. After the many lessons learned, alcohol is haram, cooking is forbidden, and our entire food pyramid is bread. Finally, I did make a breakthrough in citizen satisfaction.
Yes! The kingdom of bread. Bread reigns supreme. Bread!
It turns out that when I select and look at a random peasant,
Get
they
bread.
are not meant to be caked in shit. And only after building bathhouses 40 hours into the game did I make that connection. Around this time, I also realized, after reading the tooltip, the reason for my insane cost.
Like, oh yeah, we can clean ourselves. How do you have a law system and then you learn about cleaning? Priorities, am I right? Degradation affects room negatively. Janitors and idle people who maintain rooms. Oh, all rooms degrade. So that's what degradation means in this game. I was wondering what the hell that means.
Cost of maintenance. You see, buildings have walls. Walls increase isolation. I did not build any walls. Do I have to rebuild my entire city? Yes, I did. I rebuilt the whole thing. And I learned to love city planning. Building design is incredibly fun, and there's no greater satisfaction than having an elegantly designed lavatory for optimal shitting, pissing, and sharding. In the end, you take so much pride in what you've built. Am I coping? Yes, absolutely. But after numerous trials and tribulations, I had a stable, diversified economy and a series of shacks resembling civilization. Also, I
love that gamer photo introduced over there. Oh man, we have civilization. Who would have thought walls help?
A 4-year-old to become nobility. Because it's funny, nobles provide a variety of beneficial effects, and currently they're a work in progress. Or, as the developer translated to me, they cannot betray you yet. Everything was calm and peaceful until we found a Crotonian with his eyes scooped out. On the body was a note, signed Jake the Invincible, claiming that he's saving lives by returning them to his forgotten God.
We have serial killers?
Had a serial killer. Another day, another victim found dead, eye sockets empty. Every victim was a Crotonian.
Bro, this game sounds awesome.
A racially targeted crime. Terror ruled the streets, and we had no leads. It wasn't until a passerby claimed to see a Crotonian woman fleeing the scene. This information didn't add up, but we tortured a confession out of them, and they pleaded guilty to all crimes. The serial killings promptly stopped. Jake the Invincible was identified to be a middle-aged Crotonian woman predating on her own people. We sent the killer into the arena to be chopped into pieces for the spectacle of a crowd. We gave their body as much respect as it deserved. We pissed on it and dumped it into a mass grave. Serial killings are rare, and they're not often so straightforward. You might get the wrong guy and torture out a false confession.
These are stories that rival Crusader Kings, man. Quite literally, it's like you take them out of context and you just go like, what? What just happened? Oh, this is great.
Or the trail simply goes cold from lack of evidence. Eventually, beyond
Meow.
exports and fields of
Come here,
opium,
shop.
I found the most lucrative source of cash. I would intentionally reduce my army down to 0 to try and entice rebels to attack my city.
Oh my god, we went from not having anything and cowering to baiting them? Oh, that's genius. Meow meow. Yeah, I know. You guys want to see the cat? Here's the cat. Here's the menace that you keep hearing in all the videos. Oh, look at him. Look at his adorable face. Okay, back to the video.
The moment this happens, I hire mercenaries, crush the invaders, and sell off their loot for fat stacks. This sent me from borderline broke to $500,000 in the bag. Now, hiring mercenaries is incredibly expensive. Paying them is even more expensive, but they handle their own supplies, and they're instantaneous. I use them to conquer a neutral region, and as I did, my brain expanded, and my neurons started firing, because suddenly, I can hire more. For each region under my control, I get access to 5 extra mercenary companies. So I hatched a plan. Take all my money, raise an army of mercenaries, and conquer Winsta, the weakest nation I could find nearby. With each city taken, my numbers increased, eventually laying siege to their capital. How
did we go from a kingdom of bread that was kind of like begging everyone to leave them alone to conquering the place? Oh my god.
Everything to keep those mercenaries paid. I almost ran out of money. If that siege lasted a day longer than it did, I would have lost. But in the end, it was worth it because I reached the max limit of mercenary companies, and I could now recruit enough men to overpower anyone. Problem is, they're asking for $750K up front with a daily fee of $100K. So
that is a lot of money. That is a lot of money, chat. Holy. Then again, playing the game with just mercenaries instead of your own army is intriguing. Color me surprised. I like that.
Soldiers of fortune have a steep asking price, but what if the Golden Horde could pay for itself? I've been on the back foot of negotiations, pleading and groveling to my neighbors for mercy, until now. Selling my spoils, I muster a short-lived but massive army, declare war, intercept their army, and immediately sue for peace.
I sue for peace. I love the fact that this game's kind of broken like that. It's like, oh, let me just park my army in front of you, spawn it, and then declare war. Oh, lovely.
Which they have no option but to accept my favorable terms. The best part about shotgun diplomacy is you already know the answer each time. Because once they surrender, we do it again until we empty their entire treasury. Unknowingly, they just paid for their own demise. The century of humiliation was over as Jackaton turned on their allies. No longer will I be extorted each time it's their nephew's birthday. Tegenval and Sluva were too small to resist. The elvish empire of Starless to the north was a different story, but led to the development of strategies I'd replicate going forward. Economic hyperwar is the act of
we just abused the AI to trade us money. Economic hyperwar. Jesus Christ.
manipulating the enemy to take decisions that are numerically beneficial while destroying them internally. We invade cities, sell them back to the enemy, only to invade them again. Then we use them as bartering chips for other cities. Take control of those cities, demolish the walls, and advance our front line. We remove the need for extended siege and reduce the enemy to a single fight. There was only one exception to this. As luck would have it, the human empire of Lucy to the south had the largest standing army in the world. Even if I recruited every mercenary, I would still be outnumbered 2 to 1. So I drained his treasury and I waited. Eventually, he could no longer afford to maintain his army and fell.
Wow.
Jackaton lives by a simple proverb: feed the earth and it will feed you. But we fed the earth so much that nature herself is vomiting up red. There's
oh my god. Nature is vomiting red. That is such an exploit, but it makes for such a funny story. I can't. This is perfect.
too many prisoners of war and not enough mass graves to go around.
Jesus.
The rest is morbid history as I took the rest of the map.
Morbid, huh? That's morbid.
Empire of the world. Resources are
not the grave
currency is infinite, for we possess an infinite money printer, the design of which is as follows. I form a puppet state, declare war on them, take all their money from a peace treaty, invade them anyway, and install a new puppet to repeat the process. I have, in every sense, completely rigged the system, but like Sisyphus reaching the top of a mountain, I had nothing left to struggle against. And so too did I lose my interest. So I made a royal decree to arrest everyone. If you're ever interested in ending the game, just click prosecute on your main population. Guards start arresting citizens. Then they arrest other guards before being arrested themselves. Prison wardens get jailed and break out of their own prisons.
What?
Chaos and pandemonium rule the day as everyone turns on each other and eventually they turn on me. In summary, Songs of Six has a very expansive, detailed, and enjoyable tutorial. At 160 hours of playtime, I can't wait to play the actual game. This may not take the spot for Game of the Year, as we all know that's reserved for Churn Vector, but it's a very close
Churn
second.
Vector?
The graphics, the changing of seasons, the music, the scale of the simulation. Considering this is written in Java, I have no words. There's no other game where the line between city builder and sociopathy is so blurred. To demonstrate.
Honestly, the game sounds really good. Like, it sounds very enjoyable. It sounds like you can do a lot of it. It sounds like you have opportunity for crazy scenarios, and it looks very satisfying. Like, I looked at it initially at a glance, and it looked ugly. No offense, it looked very ugly. But you know, as I've come to realize with a lot of games that look ugly, I still go into them because of mechanics, and the mechanics in this one really seem interesting. Very exploitable, mind you, but interesting.
Straight this, for my second playthrough as the Garfimi, I proposed a novel form of meat production. It's less of a ranch or a pasture, and more of a tilapia nursery. For reference, at a consumption rate of half an apple a day, a fully grown tilapia child costs us 32 apples, but gives us twice that amount in meat and leather. And once they're adults, we arrest, execute, and butcher them. The tilapia child to tilapia soup pipeline is highly effective. Okay. And while my humans don't agree with cannibalism because they're bigoted chuds that can't grasp the richness of Garfimi culture, their stomachs can't complain. So, what have we learned today? 1. Prisoners are the ultimate cash crop. Labor is a resource, and so are they. 2. Look past people and their differences, and see them instead as a source of protein. 3. Much like real life, retirement is economically unfeasible and exists only as a carrot and stick to motivate the working class. I give this game my highest recommendation. I give it no days of food out of we're about to starve. And because it's mainly one guy and not a corporate entity, I can just ask for a sale. If you're interested, it's 20% off on GOG and Steam for the rest of April. The first 100 to use the link win a free chemical castration or pre-social lobotomy. Terms and conditions may apply. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a
Jesus Christ.
good one.
I have no words for this. Like, I gotta say, the game itself looks pretty cool. It has a lot of potential for crazy scenarios, and it looks like it's fairly complex with its building systems and stuff. It's made by one person, huh? Interesting as well. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna add it to my list of games. Like, I'm adding it to my wish list. I'll buy it at one point after we're done with Elden Ring and Monster Hunter World. Yeah. After we're done with those, we can play it. Anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I presume this is in-game music as well. This is like really vibey, honestly. But yeah, I shall see you for the next one. Thank you for recommending me videos, and again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps. Leave a comment, tell me what other video you want me to watch. I appreciate all the interaction and all the support. Thank you, thank you. And again, before I go, that timer means streams every single day until it runs out, so come join the fun.